Okay, you're watching Street Smart. I'm Trish Regan. Well, Republicans in 10 states, they have been casting votes since early this morning in today's presidential primaries and caucuses. Polls show that Romney is way ahead of his competitors nationally. He's gaining momentum in Ohio. Ohio is one of today's key contests. But why has it taken this long for a clear Republican frontrunner to emerge? Joining me right now, Lanhee Chen, policy director for the Romney campaign. Lanhee, great to see you. Before I talk about why it's taking so long for Republicans to embrace your candidate, let me just ask you your thoughts on today's market. A sell-off more than 200 points. If we see continued days like we saw today, does this bode well for your candidate?
Well, Trish, thanks for having me on. What I would say is that what you're seeing out there is a situation where there's a lot of uncertainty. And unfortunately, this president has added to that uncertainty, and that's precisely why Mitt Romney is one of the reasons why he's running for president, because he believes he can restore certainty, get our economy growing again, and make this the most attractive place in the world to build new companies and to invest in existing ones.
Okay, and that certainty, we're talking economic uncertainty that's out there right now. You know, it's certainly taken quite a bit of time for Republicans to fully embrace Romney as a candidate. Why is it taking so long? Why has there been so much resistance if he's clearly the guy to get the economy back on track?
Well, what I would say is, you know, I think these accounts of resistance are much overblown. I mean, if you look at the support Governor Romney has gotten, he was an overwhelming winner in New Hampshire, overwhelming winner in Florida. He's done well across this country, in Nevada, in Washington State most recently. And he's done well with all segments of the Republican Party, including conservatives. People are clearly responding to Mitt Romney's message, which is that we've got to get this economy back on track, we've got to get job creation back on track, and we've got to again create the environment for businesses to grow in America again. And so I would just reject the notion that people are not rallying behind Mitt Romney.
You can't dispute the fact that a lot of Republicans out there have also responded to the social conservative values of Santorum. And, you know, as much as they care about the economy, for whatever reason, social conservative values have really taken a front and center stage recently. Why do you see that happening right now?
Well, again, I think as voters have focused in on the crucial questions that will drive this election and that will take our country forward, what they focused in on is which candidate is best equipped to create jobs, to fix our economy, to get our economic engine going again. And that's precisely why you saw Mitt Romney do so well last week in Arizona. You saw him win in Michigan. And we think you're going to see him do quite well this evening in many of these Super Tuesday states as well.
Okay, Lanhee, what happens? I'll buy you on that. What happens right now if we see a jobs report Friday that shows an unemployment rate that continues to move down 8%, maybe even lower? We had more than 200,000 jobs. What does that do to Romney's ability to campaign against President Obama?
Well, you know, we're always gratified, obviously, when we're seeing job creation in this country, and the fact that we've seen some good reports recently is good news for the American people. But let's not forget the fact that middle-income Americans are being squeezed by the Obama economy, and a couple of good jobs reports aren't going to erase the fact that middle-class families are seeing higher prices for gas, higher prices for food, higher prices for health care. These are the sorts of things, ultimately, that middle-class families feel every day. And so Governor Romney is committed to growing the economy, to cutting the tax burden on Americans, to creating jobs, and ultimately responding to the situation that President Obama's put us in. Look, President Obama didn't create the economic crisis, but he certainly made it worse.
Well, you know, Lanhee, I don't think anyone disputes the fact that Governor Romney has a tremendous track record in business. I think everyone in the business community holds him in high regard in that sense. But yet, this is politics. And for whatever reason, Governor Romney doesn't seem to be able to communicate with your average American out there. There seems to be this divide between him and them, a divide that the president doesn't quite have as much of. How do you get beyond that? How do you show that Governor Romney understands and sympathizes with every American that's struggling right now?
Well, again, what I'd return to is, first of all, you got to look at the president's record. The president's been a failure in many respects when it comes to the economy, and I think exposing the president's weaknesses with respect to his handling of the economy, his failure to lead on entitlement reform, on getting our debt burden down, on dealing with our deficit problem, that's part one. Part two is, you look at Mitt Romney and what he's been able to do in terms of garnering support from all over the spectrum with respect to Republican primary voters, whether it's conservatives, moderates, independents. People have rallied to Mitt Romney's cause, and I think you're going to continue to see that. And so again, this notion that people haven't been supporting Mitt Romney or that people somehow are dissatisfied with Mitt Romney, I just don't think that's true.
Okay, President Obama, he held a press conference earlier today. He was asked about Mitt Romney. Lanhee, listen to what he had to say real quick.
What would you like to say to Mr. Romney?
Good luck tonight.
No, really.
Really?
So what's that saying? I mean, the fact that the president's saying Romney needs luck to beat someone like Santorum, who essentially came out of nowhere, and many established fiscal conservatives in the Republican Party would tell you he has no business being there, but yet he's had this sudden ascent, this sudden rise, that even the president's saying, Governor Romney, good luck.
Well, look, we take the president's good wishes for tonight. We look forward to a good outcome, and we look forward to competing against him in the fall.
All right. We're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our very best to you. Lanhee Chen, good luck tonight. A Romney Advisor.
Thanks.